set you guys up. There we go. So what is up, y'all? We are back. We are live. Let me adjust the chat really quick. So this is going to be a PSA, Q&A, and also some advice for young and upcoming people or people that are in the industry that have created value for themselves but don't really know how to apply that value fair. So if you have any questions, I'll try to address them at the end or somewhere in the middle if there's a break in the story. So if you guys may or may not know, I got my CDL back in 2016. I graduated June of 2016. I took a 6-month course. 6 months after I graduated, what's up, everyone? 6 months after I graduated, make sure you guys smash that like button coming in. 6 months after I graduated, I got hired with a guy named Joe. 6 months after I got hired with the guy named Joe, I became one of Joe's top drivers. So much so that Joe sent me to Pottsville, Pennsylvania, and I trained 50 guys in 4 days, crash course, to do what I did for flatbed and on the Moffett. So if you guys never saw any of our older content, I suggest you go watch it. We were a third party delivery service for Home Depot, and we were contracted by XPO Logistics. So the guy that was in charge of me and oversaw the whole operation down in Pottsville, Pennsylvania, was thoroughly impressed. When I say thoroughly impressed, he was thoroughly impressed. So much so that back in 2017, he offered, sorry, for some reason, this keeps falling. I'm gonna play my phone. Me my own contract, okay? So he offered me my own contract back in 2017, and yeah, I was kind of like playing with the idea of it, but wasn't really feeling it. So I talked to Joe, which was the owner of the company that I ran for back in the day, about the whole situation, and ended up just deciding to stick with Joe. Okay, so mind you, this was 2017 that I haven't heard from the gentleman. We'll just call him B. Okay, so the other day, last week, I get a text message from a random number. I don't know who it is. And very long story short, ends up being B. After 6 years. So B went out of his way to find me. See my tag? To find me after not having contact with me for 6 years. Went out of his way to find me. After 6 years of no communication. Because he went and started up his own logistics company, and he needed someone that he can trust and someone that he knows what they're doing. Mind you, I trained 50 guys with only 6 months of experience back in 2017. So what B texted me was almost verbatim, or almost quote unquote, I was the best that he had ever seen. And he wants me to join his team and become a driver for him. Now that says a lot, especially since I've had 2 different phone numbers since 2017. And he went out of his way to find me. after 6 years. Because in his words, I was the best he had ever seen. Now, mind you, that was only with 6 months of experience. 6 months of experience. Now, mind you, I stopped doing that kind of freight back in 2021. So from 2017 to 2021, I got that much more experience. Okay? So fast forward to last week, he was just like, I would like for you to join the team, and I was like, we'll see what we're talking, right? So his business partner calls me up, and we get to chit chatting, and he said, I was talking to B, and B said that he wants you on the team. I said, okay. How much money are we talking to join this team? Now, this is kind of where creating your value and holding and keeping your standards come into play. Make sure you guys smash that like button, please. It's greatly appreciated. So, creating the standard and holding your value, right? So I asked him, how much money are we talking? And he threw a number out there. He said, how much does this amount of money per day sound? And I said, that wouldn't even come close to what I'm looking for right now. I said, because that number you just threw at me, I was making that back in the day, back in 2017. So he said, well, realistically, how much money would you need? I said to him the number that I told him, because, they have to keep in mind that contract is probably going to be a 6, almost 7-day work week. And, probably 70 hours. So I'm thinking, with the job that I got now, what would it take for them to get me to leave my job? And the short answer is, I got a number. Thank you, I appreciate it. So I had a number in my head, told him the number, and he said, all right, well, we'll get back to you on that. And then he had texted me and asked if I was available to basically help out some people. And I said, well, how much money are we talking? So he threw out a number. It was a 3-digit number for a day. And he said, 6 hours. And he named his price. And I said, I wouldn't even touch it for that. No way. Nope. I wouldn't even leave my house for that much money. Now, this isn't to doo-doo on anyone. This isn't to say like I'm better than, but it's all about creating the standard and holding your value. Because if I was making that much money back in 2017 with inflation and everything, 6 years later, nope. So he said, all right, well, how much money would you charge us to come out and do this training? And instead of a daily rate, I gave him an hourly rate. Thank you, Jake. Because now the ball is in my court. Now, B already knows what I can do. And his business partner, came to me and threw out a number for the day rate, but I let him know what my flat rate hourly fee was and what he was trying. Now, I get it. Business is business. You do what you got to do. I understand everyone has a budget. Everyone, excuse me, has an overhead. You got to understand that. Excuse me. But the number that I threw out was literally double. The number that I threw out for an hourly wage was literally double what he was offering to pay by the hour, but for the hour's work, if that makes any sense. So for a 6 hour, for me to help out for the 6 hours, he named a price. My counter offer was essentially double the hourly rate of what that would have panned out to. And they came back and agreed to it. So this is what I mean by setting the standard and keeping the value, or knowing your value. Because if I was that good back in 2017, you went, or whomever went out of their way to find you and to book your services, and you know you have experience, they know you have experience, you've done work with them in the past. I mean, realistically, you have to set your own standards, and you have to know your value, especially when people are coming out of the woodworks to find you, to seek your services, because in their words, that you are the best that they had ever seen. And mind you, that was only with 6 months of experience. And I will be 100% transparent with you guys. I don't really tell this to many people, especially on the internet. But this was back, I don't condone this activity. You guys know this is a family-friendly channel. But this was back in the day when I actually used to consume alcohol beverages. And I used to run 14 hours a day, 70-hour work weeks, and I was getting my butt handed to me every single day. I would clock into, I would be up at 4:30 in the morning, I'd clock in at 6 a.m., and then I'd be getting out at 8 p.m. So from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m., I'd be getting my butt handed to me. And by the time I get home, I'm ready for, I'm ready to eat dinner, go back to sleep, and do it all over again. Like there was never enough time in the day. And at that time in my life, I used to drink myself to sleep and cry myself to sleep, because before I started making, better money, which didn't come until about a year and a half later, I was only making $700 a week. I had student loans I knew I had to pay off. So when I went to school for 6 months. It was 10 grand. 10 grand for 6 months. I got a government grant. I think that took like $2,600 off the top. And then they wanted me to pay $1,600 while I attended classes. So I'm like, I'm only making $700 a week before taxes, which panned out to about $400 a week, maybe $500 after taxes. So I was making about $500 a week after taxes. And, that was before my bonuses. That was like flat rate. So now here we are 6 years later, I make significantly more than that. But it's like, I was working 70-hour work weeks, and barely making $500 a week. That was less than $10 an hour. Congratulations, Peter. I'm proud of you. Set the standard, know your value. So, yeah, so I went, helped out. I had no one when I showed up. I did what I had to do. I had no one, being oversight or overwatch of me, because this guy B trusts me 100%. I showed up on time. I actually showed up early, because if you're on time, especially being the diamond standard, if you're on time, you're late. At least that's my motto. Like, if you're on time, you're late, unless you communicate. You got to be there early, especially after 6 years. You got to make a good impression, and make sure that people know that you mean business. So that's my story time. I trained 6 years ago. I trained 50 guys in 4 days, and then I made such a good impression that 6 years later, after no contact, the gentleman that oversaw the entire operation 6 years ago went out of his way to come and find me, because in his words, I was the best he had ever seen. And that was only with 6 months of experience. And now, after all this time, excuse me, I'm even more seasoned. So after a certain amount of time, there really wasn't a situation or a predicament that I was in that I couldn't get myself out of. You're welcome, Peter. I'm proud of you, man. So, you guys have any questions, any concerns, any comments? Now would be the time, because I actually have to go home, shower, and get ready for bed. And I got some more content coming for you guys. Full disclosure, like I said, I've been diligently working behind the scenes on some new content. We actually just got some product to do a product review. You guys will see in the video, but when I release it, but I'll show you guys now. We actually just got some torque straps, brand new product. I did a review of it, so I want you guys to watch the video when it comes out. But yeah, if you guys wanna know anything about how to judge your value or set your standard, let me know. Now would be the time. So I'll stay live for another minute or so, and then I really gotta pack it up and go home. The weather is absolutely beautiful out here today. I've been working on the baby's truck, as well as working on some collaborations and stuff like that behind the scenes, and still working on some other content. So, but yeah, that is my story time. So, like, stay true to yourself, create the standard, hold your value. Especially when you have the diamond standard set in your company name, and they want me on board as an individual, not even as a company. So yeah, it just got done raining after like a week and a half or something like that. I also just bought some new camera gear. Also, our back to school supply drive is live right now. So any and all donations that you guys put in the chat, 100% of it will go directly to our back to school supply drive. Or if you also want to donate, you can donate on PayPal. The link is down below in the description. And if you guys don't know what our back to school supply drive is, starting last year, this year makes our second annual back to school supply drive, where we spend money from our own pockets as well as help from you guys, where we go out and we buy back to school supplies for children and families in need, and eventually we want to start building it up so that way we can also provide school supplies for classrooms and then eventually schools and stuff like that in need. And then I think what I also want to do is open up a start like donations, maybe see if we could pay for school lunches for children who can't afford to eat at school. So we'll see how that goes. Thank you, Peter. I appreciate it. So yeah, if you guys are inclined to donate, 100% of all the contributions will go to the back to school supply drive. Every single dollar will go to the back to school supply drive. Also, we do the shopping on live. I show you every single penny that's spent. So every single penny that you guys send in, as long as we can, let's say an eraser is 15 cents, but we only got 11, assuming that it's not something petty like that. I mean, we spent literally almost every single penny. I don't want to start a consulting firm. I think that people really need to hold themselves, build and create themselves, and then hold themselves to their own standard and keep that value. I mean, the value of my training has not decreased since 2017. If anything, my training has gotten better because my experience is a lot more. So, but the amount of the amount of experience that I got is significantly more. So, but that is all the time that I have for today, guys. So I do appreciate you guys watching. If you guys have any concern, comments, questions, leave it down below. I'm still debating if I'm going to do a Friday's feast this week or not. I actually have a huge event that I will be vlogging for you guys this weekend, so that might become the Friday's feast, so we'll see. So I appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Leave a comment down below. Subscribe. Hit that notification bell. And stay tuned for our product review video. And like I said, I might also have... I'm still debating on a Friday's feast or not. So I will see you guys on the next video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for sticking it out, Peter. And good job getting clean, sir. So I appreciate you guys watching. Be good, be safe, and until the next video, I'll see you guys on the next one.